Hello. It is July 26th. Listen, a lot has happened. A lot has gone down. First of all, baby girl is 8 months at the time of filming this clip. Almost 9 months, actually. Today, I got my first period ever since before getting pregnant. What that means is that I have not had a true period in over a year. That is crazy. And so I don't really know how I feel about that yet. So we actually started supplementing with formula as well. So we'll get into that later on. Also, last weekend, I got married, part 2. My husband and I got married to the church. We had gotten married 2 years ago, July 2022, and we love each other so much that we got married again. Yeah, so we have a lot to unpack in this video. I don't even know where to start, but we're not going to start right now. Right now, it is almost 4 p.m. I have quite a lot to situate in our household because tonight I have book club at 7 p.m. I have still not finished that book, so we're going to try our best. We are going to try our best to finish the book before I head to book club. Yeah, there's also, I'm sure, a lot of baby updates that I have to bring you up to date with. So there's a lot. Listen, there is a lot going on. We're gonna go through it in this video, but not right now. Just wanted you to know what's coming. Good morning. It is now Saturday. It is July 27th. It is 10 a.m. Hi, mamas. Baby girl is in her little playpen. She just woke up from a nap. She actually took a very short nap. I thought she was going to be down for a while because she hasn't taken her first nap this morning. So she woke up at 6:30. I fed her. I tried to put her back down for a nap, but she just woke right back up. And then ever since then, like 6:30, 7 a.m., my husband was with her, like he fed her breakfast. Meanwhile, I kept sleeping because I've been so tired. I mentioned that I got my period for the first time since February of 2023. So a year and a half about, right? And it has just taken a toll on my body. I've always had very bad periods. Are you laughing at that? That's not funny. Mama's in pain. She's smiling. Ever since I was very young, like a teenager, I've had very bad periods. And I was hoping that after giving birth, it would just reset and sort of change in terms of the pain that I get. I don't think it's changed very much. Yeah, so all of those symptoms are back. I've been so tired. My back's been in pain. All of the things, only now I have to also tend to a child while I have my period. So that's new, getting used to that. So let's stay on the topic of periods. Let's address that big thing because if, you had a baby, like if you were pregnant and then if you were breastfeeding and like hormonally you just weren't in the right chemical recipe to be having a period, like when you finally get your period, it's such an odd experience, at least it has been for me, because partially I'm bothered by it, but also I'm kind of happy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of feels like my body's going back to normal, like to before me getting pregnant and everything. So it kind of feels like a reset. My camera died, of course. But anyway, long-winded way of me saying that we're turning a new leaf. We're entering this new phase where I have my period and it only feels like such a big deal because I haven't had it in so long. And yeah, I'm going to end this little period segment here. I was sitting on the couch before baby girl woke up. I did mention that I had my book club last night and that I also had not finished the book. I am almost 200 pages in, so I have a little over half of the book left. So even though there were definitely spoilers at book club, because obviously like the purpose of that book club was to discuss this book, I'm still definitely interested in reading it, even though I know a lot of what's to come. I feel like that was my own consequence.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you.
My girl.
So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, I can't believe you love me.
Oh my god!
Just feel so
Mama!
lucky.
You guys, we're at the mall. I have not been to a mall in forever. This feels like a blast from the past. It's very nostalgic. The vibes are good. How many people have laid on that? I would have loved this as a young gal, like a teenager. My husband. Keep it PG. Hello, it is now Monday. It is July 29 and I just finished working from home. I am waiting for baby girl to wake up. She's been out for a couple of hours. She was down for about half an hour and then I rescued the nap, and from that point on it's almost been 2 hours and I'm watching her. She's like moving around and stuff, but she was tired, I guess. Once she wakes up, I'm gonna go into the office and then I'm going to go to Amazon Fresh to return some Amazon packages and then to UPS so I can also return Amazon packages. This weekend was such a good weekend. It was a perfect blend of taking it slow, taking it easy, relaxing, and also hanging out with family. So on Saturday night, my husband and I, as I showed clips of, we went out with baby girl. We went out for a little stroll. We got some boba. Sunday, we were going to wake up for 10 a.m. mass, but I was so tired, you guys. Baby girl and I slept in. My husband had to go to his project in the morning, and when he came back, we were like, okay, let's go to mass later on because we had family in town from Indiana, from the state of Indiana. So we had them over. We grilled some burgers, we had some drinks, some snacks, and it was so good. It was so fun. It was good to catch up with my uncle, with my cousin, my niece, and for them to meet baby girl for the first time. I also pretty much spent a majority of the day yesterday and Saturday kind of like putting together all of the packages that we were going to return. So I mentioned that my husband and I got married for the second time and we went crazy with our Amazon orders. So we had a budget and we pretty much stuck to that budget budget until the end. We were just like, you know what? We have several things that we think we're still missing for like decor for the event. So let's just order a bunch of stuff on Amazon. And if we end up not using them, then we just return them. But at least we know that we have these items. At the end, like the last week or so, we were just putting in work on Amazon. We were ordering so much. It was honestly crazy. I was doing my best to keep track of everything, to keep everything organized. And there were several things that we ended up not using. So now we are in the process of returning everything. Today should be like some of the last packages that I return, which is why I'm going to Amazon Fresh and UPS store, as I mentioned. Yeah, it's been a little bit hectic. Also, we did borrow a lot of stuff from friends and family members, so I've been slowly putting that together and returning the things that I borrowed just because I want to clear out the office space. We have some home projects coming up, so I want to make sure that that's cleared up. Anyway, that's a lot of talking, and I do want to talk a little bit more because I feel like we have a lot of catching up to do. So it's going to be a little bit of a chatty video, but let's get into it until baby girl wakes up. So something that I do want to talk about is breastfeeding and my journey with breastfeeding and where I'm at. At the start of this video, I believe I mentioned that we started doing formula for baby girl. I've been pretty much breastfeeding this entire time up to 8-month mark. The first week of baby girl's life, I did have to go back to the hospital, and so baby girl stayed home with her dad for a couple of days, and because of that, we did introduce formula at like the first or second week of her life. So she did try formula really early on, but then once I came back home, I was only gone for like 2 days, but it felt like an eternity. Anyway, point being that we did try formula in the beginning, but I really wanted to try for breastfeeding, like for as long as I could, and my body was producing. Like there were moments definitely that my supply would drop, but luckily I've always had like a frozen stash of my breast milk, or I've always had supply so that I never really had to tap into formula again. And recently, because of the whole wedding situation, there was a lot of days that we were so busy, a lot of days that I was feeling stressed, that I was maybe not eating correctly, that I wasn't sleeping correctly. So I definitely feel like that started affecting my supply. Like I definitely felt that I wasn't producing as much, and baby girl was still like hungry after a feeding. Luckily, baby girl is doing solids now, so pretty much she would eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like in terms of her solid food meals. But of course, like I was still breastfeeding as well. And once I noticed my supply dropping a little bit, I would just feed her or try to feed her a little bit more of solid foods. When the wedding day came, I had already created my little reserve of frozen breast milk so that my family members can help feed her while I was, busy doing other things. And so that got us through the wedding. However, from the point of the wedding onward, my frozen stash was eliminated. So now it was really just me having to pump to bring that supply up again. I was just happy to rest. Finally, I was so happy to be married to my husband, and like that was a huge milestone to be married to the church. So we were just relaxing. I was breastfeeding baby girl, but I wasn't pumping as much. And I also did notice that my supply just kept dropping as well. And then I get my period. So at that point, I just understood that my body was entering a new phase. So it feels a little bit bittersweet. Partially, I'm happy that that decision was kind of made for me by my body rather than me making the decision. Right now, I'm still producing milk, but it's not as much. Like I definitely have been supplementing with formula. Where I'm at now is that I'm pretty much trying to breastfeed when I can, trying to pump when I can, but we are definitely giving baby girl formula at least once per day for one of her feedings, one of her bottle feedings. I am trying to not really be too hard on myself just because it is what it is. It's one of those things that as mothers, we already carry so much guilt for the most random things. And to me, it's like I'm not going to be guilty because I had a goal of feeding her till she was 1 year old with my breast, and I'm I'm still gonna try, like, if it still keeps coming out, I'm gonna keep giving her breast. But I also identify, like, my body is kind of like moving on. I have my period now, my supply is dropping. On one end, I'm like, I made it this far, but on another end, I'm like, I want to keep going. I'm not done yet. I want her to keep having breast milk. On the other end, again, I'm feeling like as long as baby girl gets her calories, that's all that matters. But another part of me is like the attachment that we felt, like I'm not ready for that to end. I also feel like personally it has been kind of nice to feel a little bit more free in that regard. I don't know if free is the right word, but I definitely feel like less stressed, because before she was solely relying on me to get that milk, whereas now it kind of feels like a little bit of a breather, if you will. Like, okay, like if I don't have time to pump, if I get busy, if like life just happens, we have formula, and that is just so much peace of mind, and it kind of relieves pressure from me as well. And it also feels like I am in a sense getting my body back in that way. Not that I ever felt like, oh my god, my body's not mine, but I definitely am a vessel. Everything that goes in my body is for baby girl, where before you have a baby, you don't think that way. Your body is your body, and you're not like taking care of it for the sake of a child, if that makes sense. I don't know, but point being that it kind of feels interesting that like I'm feeling like I'm getting a part of me back, but not in the way of like, oh, I really wanted this back. Like, it's just kind of a, how to explain it? I'm still drafting my thoughts in real time. So like I never felt bad about like having to breastfeed, having to do these things, but now that I'm not doing them as much, it feels like, I guess I'm just changing, evolving. I'm finding my new rhythm with like the woman that I am now, and how my body serves my baby versus how it stops serving my baby because she's growing. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but these are raw thoughts. The formula that I'm using, let me show you. This is the formula that I'm using. It's called ProCare, and I bought it at Costco. I did research back before she was born, and I was so conflicted. Like, I just wanted to have formula before she was born in case I didn't produce any milk. Then I would just have it handy. So now this is a new one, the one that we bought her when she was born. We had to toss that because we only used it like 3 days, and then we never used it again. So the formula did like solidify a little bit. So we just bought this one so she can start using a fresh pack. But I had done some research, and this one pretty much is very comparable to like other formula that is like European, or just like there's so many formulas out there, to be honest. And I also didn't want to like stress too much about it. I wanted to find sufficient sources that indicate that this is good. I also went through all of the ingredients. Like, I literally made an Excel sheet, and per cell I added one of the ingredients, and then I looked at other formulas, and I was able to match these ingredients to several other formulas that were also popular on the market in terms of being healthier and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely do your own research. This was also really affordable, which is kind of what we wanted as well. So far, she's really liking it. I know it also depends like what your baby wants because some babies, babies are picky and they have preferences. So far she's liked it. She hasn't reacted to it. Like, her stools have been normal. Everything has been fine. So yeah, we're just like in this new little chapter. So this is already such a rant, but if you're a mom, I feel like these things, we like listening to these things. I like listening to these things, so hopefully it doesn't feel too long-winded. I just really want to capture my journey, where I'm at, in case anyone else resonates with it. And yeah, I'm just another mom going through her own journey, and maybe you can relate. Later we'll do a little bit more catching up on like the wedding and stuff, and some more baby milestones. For now, I'm just gonna like keep waiting on baby girl to wake up so we can go do all our returns, so we can go into the office. And yeah. We just dropped off some packages. I was gonna go to UPS to drop off the other package, but baby girl was getting hungry, so I stopped at a park to make a bottle for her, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go into the library. I don't have my library card with me, but I'm gonna go see if they can give me a new one. I have been wanting to come to the library with baby girl for a while. I want to get her some little books, and I want to look for a particular book for me as well. So yeah, we're gonna go inside. It's 2:15 p.m. right now, so perfect time to just be out and about before things start getting a little bit more packed and busy. So we're gonna go to the library. It's gonna be cute, and let's see what books we get, huh, mommy? You want to say hi? Okay, okay, let's go. We are back home now. Let me show you some of the books that we got at the library. Okay, the first bilingual picture book is this Selena book. Look at how cute this is. I just had to get this for baby girl. I got this Frida book. How adorable is this? And then I got this one that says, Quiero a mi papá porque I love my daddy because. Baby girl is definitely a little daddy's girl. They're like best friends. So anytime I see like a daddy and me book, I get it because I know that my husband will love reading this to her. And then this one is Eso es mío, that's mine. And it looks like it's a little kid that does not like to share and eventually learns to share. So it's never too soon to start teaching your kids to not be greedy. And finally, I thought this book was super cute. Mi abuelita me quiere, my grandma loves me. You guys, when I was in the library right now with baby girl, it just brought back so many memories. I grew up being such a huge bookworm. My mom always took us to the library. I loved reading so much. I honestly spent hours at the library, and being there with baby girl, you guys, it was just such a like beautiful experience to be there with her. I was so excited. I cannot wait to create just a habit out of this so she grows up loving books just like I did. Then we got to hang out a little bit at the park afterwards, and it was so cute. You guys, I love being a mom. I love being her mom. I feel like I was just meant for this life. These past few days, my husband and I just talk about how we cannot even like imagine our life without her. I am having so much fun just like connecting with my inner child, being so joyful and playful. And when it's us three together and we're at the park, we're on a walk, we're with baby girl, I just want to cry. I'm getting chills just like Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe these books down now. I've chatted for quite a while. Like I said, this is gonna be a chatty video because we're feeling good over here. We are catching up. Let's go make a coffee, and I'm gonna feed baby girl as well. I have my coffee right here. I was talking to my husband. I told him a little bit about baby girl's day, just the day that we had. I showed him the books. I went ahead and wiped down the books. And I thought before my husband gets here and we get into our evening activities, I wanted to just sit down and talk a little bit about baby updates. So yeah, I have my coffee. So I thought, you know what? Baby girl is playing. She's content right now because I just breastfed her. So let's take advantage of this little time that we have to chat. So, like I mentioned, at this point of filming this clip, baby girl is 8 months. She has graduated from her bassinet. So, at night, she sleeps in our room, and throughout the day, she naps in her room. In our room, we had a bassinet and we did have a deeper bassinet, so she was able to use it for longer than we thought she would be able to use it for, because again, it was just deeper, so there was no risk of her like tipping over. However, as of 8 months, she was able to sit up by herself. And once she's sitting, she's able to like use any support that she has in front of her to stand up, which means it was done. The bassinet days were over. She also started saying dada and mama. She does say dada more than she does mama, which I was like, why are you doing this to me? But I'm just happy that she's able to say more than just like the sounds that she used to be able to. So that's been pretty neat because her little voice just sounds so cute. She also, a couple days ago, learned how to crawl. It's still like a funny crawl, like one of her legs does like a funny thing and it's just so hilarious and adorable. But it was so cute. It was such a core memory. It was such an amazing milestone. New adventures begin. In terms of her sleeping throughout the day, like once she wakes up around 6, 7. That first nap is usually good, and then that second nap is still good. So 2 naps are pretty solid. And then in the afternoon / evening, for example, right now it's 4:40. Like if I try to put her down, I'm going to struggle. She might go down, but also from here to like the evening, like later evening, it's going to be a struggle for her to sleep. So usually we just wait till bedtime or like later on in the night, like when she's clearly tired. So for sure 2 solid naps per day, and the third one is questionable. Sometimes it'll happen, sometimes it won't, but for sure, like once she's out for the night, she's out. She may wake up here or there, but it won't be like a full wake window. At night, it'll just be like, okay, maybe I'm still a little bit hungry, maybe I just want mom and dad to soothe me, and then she'll go back down. And in terms of eating, I mentioned the formula thing, but mainly I'm still producing milk. I'm still breastfeeding when I can. When it's not enough, that's when I will go ahead and supplement with formula, or on extra busy days, if I have to go out and about, like today, for example, like that I was going to spend several hours out and about, I took formula. I haven't really talked too much about solid foods, like what we give her right now, but it hasn't varied too much from my other videos. Maybe I'll talk more about solid foods in a different video, since this one's already like loaded with me talking. I do want to get better with, I feel like solid foods is always one of those things that you can continue improving because there's so many different things that you can feed your child. Let me know if you relate, if you have a little one. Like as soon as you get a handle of things and you're like in your rhythm, as soon as you get a handle of things, there's a new thing that is thrown at you, a new thing that you have to learn. So I think that's one thing I want to get better at, is just like, okay, what new things can I introduce to her in terms of food? And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more things, but the one last thing that I want to mention is her teeth. So at month 8, I noticed that one of like her canines, that one's coming in, and then one of her front teeth, this other front tooth is coming in for her, although it's like a little bit delayed, so that's gonna look a little bit funny. But I will say, like in terms of teething, she wasn't as fussy as when she first got her very initial tooth that came out, which I was surprised because right now she technically has 3 teeth coming in. So I was terrified. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be so fussy, because when the first one came out, she was so bad. Like she was in so much pain, she was crying, she was not sleeping well, she was not eating well, all of the things. And also for the second tooth. But now with the 3 that are coming out, she's fussy, of course, because she's in pain, but nothing compared to when like the very first one cut through. I do, before I end this like segment piece on baby milestones, want to say that like take the time as a mom, especially if you're a new mom, to identify like all the things that you are doing good, to pat yourself on the back for making it this far. Like every time your baby turns a new month, that's also the amount of time that you've been a mom, especially like a new mom if you are a new mom. And even if you're not a new mom, even if you have multiple kids, like that's still your time with that new baby, right? So I just like to connect with the fact that I've come so far and I love what I'm becoming, like in terms of what kind of mom I'm becoming. Do not be so hard on yourself. I try not to be so hard on myself. You are doing probably so much better than you think you're doing. Just take a moment to acknowledge yourself in case no one acknowledges you. If you do have people that acknowledge you, I'm happy for you that you have that. I know it's just needed. Like, just know that you're doing so good, better than you think you're doing. Your child is safe. Your child is safe and your child is loved, and what more can a baby want, right? So yeah, this segment over. My husband, I can see him pulling in, and now we're just gonna have evening family time. So yeah, I'll catch you later for more chatty updates. It is now Tuesday, July 30th. It is 12:30 p.m. and I am quickly whipping something up for baby girl and me to have for lunch. I worked from home this morning. Yeah. I worked from home this morning, and right now baby girl is playing with a mango pit. Once I feed her, she's probably going to be due for a nap, so I will probably put her down right afterwards. It is now 1:30 p.m. Baby girl just went down for a nap not too long ago, and now I am finally gonna get ready for the day because it's already 1:30 and I'm not ready. I did change out of my PJs, although it probably doesn't look like it, but in the morning I haven't really been like doing my makeup until I'm done working from home, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about my wedding. Let me just pop in my contacts. It's so hard to put on contacts with nails. I hardly ever have nails. Like, these are acrylic. They're already like growing out, so they look gross. I haven't done acrylic in so long, but when I went into the nail salon to do my nails for my wedding, my nails were very short, so I didn't want to just do gel. I wanted a little bit of length, and I wanted the like oval shape to my nails as well. So I ended up doing acrylic and then gel and like a chrome finish. I don't know if you can tell. There you go. It's like they're off-white and then chrome added to them. Really hard to tell on here, but they looked super cute when I just got them. Obviously now they're like grown out and gross, but just take my word for it, they looked cute. All right, but let's chat it up. Let's talk about our wedding. So as I mentioned, my husband and I were already married. We got married in July of 2022. And at the time when we got married, we actually weren't engaged for very long. We were engaged maybe for like 6 months. We got engaged in January of 2022, and I knew I didn't want a long engagement, so well, neither of us wanted a long engagement, so we ended up getting married, yeah, like 6 months afterwards in July of 2022. We were really like going back and forth. Should we get married to the church? At the time, we were not really going to church. Our journey to spirituality, to Jesus, has not been straightforward, as is the case for many people. We both grew up as Catholics. When we were younger, we went to church and all that with our family. I always believed in God, even if I wasn't going to church. Like, I was never one to deny God's existence because I always knew he existed. It was just I wasn't building my relationship with Jesus, with God. When my husband and I were dating, neither of us were really going to church, although we both were like spiritual in the sense that we believed in a greater being. Fast forward, when we're talking about getting married, we just didn't know, like, are we going to get married to Catholic church? I had also in the past gone to Christian church. I really liked going to those services. So then we were kind of an understanding and in agreement that we didn't just want to get married for the sake of tradition, for the sake of, you know, this is what we have to do. We wanted to get married to a church and willingly making that vow to God and understanding what that vow meant. So because at the time we were like, we want to get married, we don't want to have a long engagement, but we also need to figure out like to what church. We decided, okay, let's do our civil wedding and then let's start our journey to figure out what spirituality is going to look like for us. We got married and we started going to church here and there to figure out like where we would land with our journey in our path to Jesus, in our path to God, because we were really open-minded as to what church we would go to as long as Jesus was part of that church. So we weren't really open to trying like new religions. It definitely had to be Christianity based, like Christ based, but we just didn't know like, okay, is it gonna be Catholic Christian? Is it gonna be another like a Protestant type Christian, or what denomination, you know, all that jazz. We didn't know that. So we started exploring. So this was after our civil marriage, since we got married kind of right away. And for our civil marriage, it was just like an elopement style wedding with family, but we wanted to keep it very small. So eventually in our path to continuing going to church, we were on and off. We weren't perfect about it. I ended up getting pregnant like a year after getting married, after our civil marriage. At that point, we were like still going to church, and we even continued going more because we knew for a fact that we wanted our baby girl to grow up with some form of spirituality. And we stumbled upon this church that we really liked. We liked going to the mass, we liked the community, we liked the diversity. It felt like home. I don't know how else to describe it. So then we decided this is where we want to get married. So about a year ago, like in July 2023 or so, was when we set the date to get married in July 2024. And then literally like a couple months before getting married, we decided, all right, we're gonna have a reception. I've never been the type to want a big wedding. Nothing against them for other people, I get it. But for me personally, it's not me. That's just not how I would like to invest my money. I just didn't see a need, and it didn't feel like us. Like my husband and I were not center of attention, super extroverted, invite a lot of people. That's just not the vibe that we were going for. And we already have like big families. So it was like, even just inviting our family members and their kids, it was already going to be like a lot. So why extend it even further? Let's just do like a small immediate family, a couple of extended family, and that's it. So once we decided that, like we were already living in this house, we moved into this house while I was pregnant. So summer of 2023, so a year ago from right now. So we decided that our backyard can fit the amount of people that we would want to invite. So that's how we landed on a backyard wedding. We had it here in our backyard. It was so cute. It was so intimate. We wanted like more of a vintage vibe. So I went with like a lacy dress. My husband went with a brown suit. Baby girl's dress matched my dress. And we bought a little wagon for her so she can be pulled in that wagon. We decorated the wagon. She was pulled into the mass by my sister, and it was great. It was such a beautiful ceremony. Baby girl is awake now, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But yeah, just like a quick little segment on that, just some information, since it just blurted out that we got married. I'm so happy we did it how we did it. I'm so happy that we had our wedding in our backyard. It was so intimate. People kept telling us how intimate it felt. Because we didn't have so many people, I was able to go around the tables and make sure that I got one-on-one time with most of our guests. It was so precious. Having that first dance with my husband, having it with my mom, having it with our daughter. It was just such a magical, magical day. No matter the stress, no matter what else went on, we were so connected to each other that day. We were so happy. We feel so blessed. We feel so grateful. Like I always tell my husband, I love you so much that I wanted to marry you twice. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go get baby girl. While I'm here, let me just outro the video. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's grab baby girl really quick. You okay, my baby love? Thank you so much for being here. If you did enjoy this video, I have several others like this. I am just excited to keep posting my journey through motherhood, through this life that I am living, that I was blessed with. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
No hubiera pensado que yo me iba a enamorar, jamás no quería saber nada más, nunca más. pero vos apareciste de repente y me hablaste con una voz tan dulce que perdí la razón y mi corazón. Ay, amor, no te preocupes, que yo siempre he de quererte, de amarte y admirarte. Ay, amor, no te preocupes, lo que siento yo por vos es cada vez más fuerte. Yo pensaba que esto del amor ya se me había pasado y que no era para mí nunca más. Pero el amor llega así, de esa manera, cuando uno menos se lo espera. Se abrió la puerta y sin pensar dejas entrar el amor. No te preocupes, que yo siempre he de quererte, de amarte y admirarte. Ay, amor, no te preocupes, lo que siento yo por vos es cada vez más fuerte. Ahora todo tiene sentido, esto es lo mejor que he vivido. Por si no lo has comprendido, me quedo contigo. Ay, amor, no te preocupes, que yo siempre he de quererte, de amarte y admirarte. Ay, amor, no te preocupes, lo que siento yo por vos